thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Wake up and smile.
I did it.
'Cause it's been
I
a
nailed
while.
it. Yeah, I did.
It's been like a whole day.
I
since
don't know
stopped so you could hold me.
if you know how hard it is to nail this. Just saying.
Strong in the faith. Love you are the refuge.
I'm gonna go
I
ahead
can't wait to
and I'm
get
gonna
to, 'cause I can't let it
log in.
go. Can't let it go by.
There we go,
Without
people.
thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life.
And ooh, there's something about the way
Your sun shines on my face.
it's a love so true I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong.
I'm about to get my worship
On,
on.
take me away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it is, people.
When trouble seems to rain on my
It rains on your dreams, people.
It's not a big deal.
Nope.
Let it wash all the bugs off
the
my windshield. 'Cause you're
Windshield.
showing me.
Showing me.
In you I'm free.
That's right, people.
And you're still the refuge that I've just got to get to. So I won't let a day go.
Won't let a day go by.
So put the drop top down, turn it up, I'm ready to fly.
And ooh, there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so true I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong.
I'm about to get my worship on.
Take me away. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, it is, people.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
I've got no need to worry.
That's right, people.
I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's
I have a
coming
teddy bear
at
behind me.
You'll always be
Yeah, I
the
do.
beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to
Your amazing grace. Your amazing grace.
And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
This feeling can't be wrong.
I'm about to get my worship on. I'm gonna sing a brand new song. Yeah, I'm about to get my worship on.
Take me away on this beautiful day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Check this out.
it's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
That cool or what?
Such a beautiful day.
You know what? I have to tell you that is Jamie Grace Collins, and this is her little baby girl right there. Wait, hold on. I'll point to it. Point to her. Okay, this is her girl. That's her husband. Wait, there we go. Okay, this is her. Wait, I can do this. This is her girl right there on the right or left, whatever it is. That's her dad. That's Jamie Grace's husband, and that's Jamie Grace's nephew. Because Morgan, her daughter, or her sister, just had had her son, like a couple of days, literally before Jamie had her daughter. Is that cool or what? They just put their cousins, obviously. Yeah, they are. So I just played that in honor of Jamie and Morgan having, babies. I mean, seriously, is God cool or what, man? He's like, he literally, God ordained for Morgan and Jamie to be moms at the same time, almost exactly the same time they actually gave birth. Can you imagine the grandparents? I mean, seriously, all of a sudden, not only did they get their first grandchild born, but then they got their second one like in 2 weeks born. I think the joy in that household is overwhelming. I'm sure it is. It probably is. Yeah, it is. Just like I'm sure some liberals are super happy today. Because Trump, President Trump, to be more respectful to the office of Presidente, was just at a press briefing. It may be, I don't know if it's still going on. I don't think it is. But anyway, he was there, and he made some comments about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is now leaving the White House, which, hey, people, I just have to tell you that the mainstream media has crucified her like a million times over because that's their favorite thing to do, is to crucify people who represent the president. And then, you know what, the media does it on both sides. I mean, like when President Obama was our president for 8 long years, when he was our president, the media also attacked the spokesperson that he had, and now President Donald Trump. Yep, they also attacked Sarah. You know what really, though, is astounding to me, however? When I was growing up, which was a long time ago, apparently, because I'm getting wrinkles here, like right here in my eyes, and right here in my neck. I'm noticing some wrinkles starting to come in. But I am 50, so hey, I'm just saying. But anyway, the thing is Sarah, the media are so mean that they completely attacked her looks and stuff. And I do not ever recall, maybe it's because I'm not aware, but I don't ever recall the media actually attacking the looks of a man spokesperson, right? A male spokesperson. But they would go ahead and they would attack her because of how she looks and all that. And I just think that's so mean, people. I mean, it is. It's mean. Can't we all get along? I mean, seriously, can't we not all get along and just respect people, even if you don't agree with their political views? Can't you all just get along and be nice to people? I was sharing with somebody this morning at a networking meeting that I play pickleball. I know, you all know that already if you watch me all the time. Coming soon, Pickleball Faith. But I play pickleball, and my friends that I play pickleball with are not all conservative, and they're not all liberal, right? And yet, can you believe it? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. When we get on the pickleball court, it's like I'm not sitting there with my ball in my hand, getting ready to serve to JR, who's more liberal than me, and just really want to smack it by him, and then when I hit the ball, hit it at his head, just because he's more liberal than me. And my friend Kim, who's conservative like me, I'm not thinking to myself, man, I'm just gonna hit it easy to Kim because she's conservative. No, all that goes out the door. Hey, I'm on the pickleball court. Yeah, I am, and all I care about is making sure that my opponent does not hit the ball where I can't hit it back, because I want to win my, if I'm serving, I want to keep my serve and keep getting points. And if I'm not serving, I want to make sure I hit the ball so that they lose so I can get the serve and I can make points, because you can only make points when you serve in pickleball, unlike tennis where you can score on both sides whenever you're playing. So there you have it. There's your pickleball analogy of the day. But anyway, Bareface, you have any comments? Do you play better when you're playing against liberals or conservatives? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I don't know their political. I mean, I'm not aware of their political affiliations when playing pickleball.
I am, because I know who they are.
It really doesn't matter when it comes to pickleball.
No, and my point was to Erica, this lady that I met this morning, was that there was actually an article written a while back about these two men. They were on the opposite political spectrum. And they actually, when they found out that they both loved pickleball, but they opposed each other, they actually got upset. And this is coming back to me. One of them got upset because the other one was wearing a political shirt that the guy didn't like, and they almost got in a fight. I think they actually did, too. They got in a fight. But then they found out they both like pickleball, and they became friends. It was like, oh, you like pickleball? Oh, my gosh, no, we can be friends now. Yay! I mean, come on. Seriously. So the media and how they treat Sarah is like, hello, people. She's a person, just like Donald Trump. Hey, you might not like how he combs his hair or what he did with Cuba recently, but, or how he treats women or talks about women, or in my case, how he decides to go ahead and advocate for homosexuality, the decriminalization of it all over the world. I hate that about the guy. But if I had an opportunity to meet him, I'm certainly not going to, gonna go, well, no.
Discount his humanity.
No, I would say...
Like somehow he's subhuman because I disagree with his political...
Hey, wow, The Apprentice, I'd say, Donald Trump, you're fired.
Like, I know this...
You're fired from being my president. That's my wish.
How is it the Cobra strike? You're fired.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, hey, Donald Trump was better than Obama. Just saying.
I was talking to you yesterday about this. Why should I held back? But there's this article I can't remember. It was on the Guardian. I don't remember. Brian, somebody I think was the. I don't remember.
Doesn't
matter.
But
making this big deal.
Who writes these things doesn't matter.
Yeah, Trump had tweeted. He needs to stay off Twitter. But Trump had tweeted. No, Trump had tweeted that something to the fact that about NASA's plans and NASA, is should, is there, they talked about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. We should concentrate, it's, we should focus on Mars, of which the moon is a part. And defense and science and anyway, and then this article goes on for paragraphs and paragraphs. But oh, what an idiot! And how outside of is just against all scholarship and experts on astronomy and astrophysics. There's no way that the moon could be a part of Mars, and what a dunderhead basically. And then the author.
Only you could use the word like dunderhead.
And then the author admits, concedes, like just before the end of the article, there is a possibility that he could have meant that the moon is included in plans of going to Mars, or can be included. It's like, okay, well, what's the more logical conclusion when he talked about plans of going to Mars? And then he said, of which the moon is a part. Is it more logical to assume that he meant the moon is a part of Mars, or part of the plans of going to Mars? Well, let's see. Well, if he meant it's a part of Mars, that means for the 70-plus years he's been alive, he doesn't remember anything, he's ever heard about astronomy, anything he's seen in the night sky.
Remember.
Yeah, you're disturbing your dog.
Yeah.
You're scaring your dog, who's on my lap.
Anyway. Power.
Yeah.
In the palm of my hand.
Anyway, noisemaker in the palm of your hand. I know.
Go ahead. I heard this already last night at dinner.
I know, but just to make the point. Basically, is it make more sense to assume that he's some kind of savant that can build multiple $1-million corporations but can't discern the Mars from the moon? Or that he meant that the moon was part of the plans of going to Mars. But
who cares?
Exactly.
I mean, who gives a...
But a lot of people do.
You know what?
And we'll choose it as a battleground. And we'll look at this. We'll look at the, headline story, the tweet, and I'm looking at some of the responses to it, the replies, and it's like,
well, should we look?
Grow up,
Should we look at the video that I sent you on Twitter about Sarah?
We can. The ABC News piece?
Yeah, the Twitter thingy.
Twitter
people,
thingy.
in case you missed all the breaking news coverage on Periscope and everywhere else all over the world. I am a news jacker, people. Yeah, I am. I use the Twitter hashtag code in order to draw more people to come into the show. Yeah, I did. Because that's what we do in the media. When we're not using gavels to get power. Actually, wait, hold on a minute. My bad, I forgot all about this. Hold on just a second, people. Sounds better that way, doesn't it? What'd you think? This? or that.
It's annoying in any case.
I think it's kind of fun. It actually reminds me of croquet when I was a kid. You know, if I had my pickleball, I'd definitely be doing that. I know you people actually, you know, some of you are just sticks in the mud, just saying. And some of you really need to learn to have a little bit of fun, just saying. Like, go play pickleball or buy a gavel. You would be surprised how many people ask me if I'm a lawyer just because I carry this. Now, I have a question. Do you think real lawyers walk around carrying a gavel?
Judges, perhaps, but not an attorney.
Most judges are lawyers, though.
Or were.
Just saying. All right, so you got it all queued up? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
What's with all the pickleball talk, Bob? Hey, I have a book coming out called Pickleball Faith. Yeah, I do. And, you're going to buy it after I publish it.
Should we get to the video?
We're going to get to the video. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and play this video. Live ABC News special report. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders is leaving the White House. Just so you know, in case you haven't figured it out. All right. Okay. Let's listen to what they say.
To return home to Arkansas, the president calling her, quote, a very special person, praising her for doing an incredible job. Senior-level administration sources telling ABC News that Sanders gathered members of her staff late this afternoon to inform them of her departure. It's been 94 days since Sanders last held a formal White House press briefing. Monday, March 11th, President Trump has not named a successor. We do want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, because, John, Sarah Sanders has been with this president for a very long time, given the track record of many of his other top-level staffers. And, in fact, she was the second press secretary for this president.
She took over when Sean Spicer abruptly resigned last July of 2017. She has been with the president from the start. She was there during the campaign. And although she had effectively stopped doing briefings, you mentioned more than 3 months since the last White House briefing, she had become an incredibly important and close advisor to the president. David, she is one of, I believe, only 3 White House staffers who accompanied him on each and every one of his trips abroad. And in many of those recent trips, she was part of the president's tight delegation in meetings with foreign leaders. Even during those 2 summit meetings with Kim Jong-un, Sarah Sanders, the press secretary, was sitting there at the table with the president. That is something I have covered a dozen different press secretaries, 4 different presidents. I have never seen a press secretary play a role that prominent, that close to the president. So although the public has seen much less of her in recent months, really over the past year, she has been one of the president's absolute closest and most important advisors.
As John Karl points out, there in many ways, Sarah Sanders has taken on a much larger role than the typical role of the press secretary at the White House, just traveling with the president on his overseas trip. In fact, part of that royal welcome by the Queen in the UK. I'm joined now by Cecilia Vega, who also covers the White House for us. And Cecilia, you and I have talked about the role that Sarah Sanders has had from the very start, which has been sort of atypical from what we've seen in the White House in previous administrations. She's been right at the president's side. She's been in the Situation Room, and she's been with him on foreign trips.
Yeah, I think back to these images we've seen that come out of the White House, David, of Sarah Sanders right there in the Situation Room with the president, helping him make decisions and inform decisions right alongside him. But let's also remember back to those days when Sarah Sanders did, in fact, used to brief the press. Those were very contentious press briefings often, and she sparred regularly with a number of reporters in that room. And she is leaving, I think many would say, with her credibility in question right now, David, because the Mueller report, which just came out at the end of April, revealed that Sarah Sanders had acknowledged that her repeated claim in 2017 that she had personally communicated with countless FBI agents who told her they were unhappy with the president. She ended up saying that that was a slip of the tongue, and she admitted that it was not true, that she had been speaking falsehoods at that podium. And you know, that is a position where she is speaking on behalf of the White House to the American people. So I think there are big questions about her credibility right now. We don't know the reason why she's leaving. We have no idea if it was doubtful, connected to the Mueller report at all. But she is certainly out, and she's someone who rose through the ranks of the campaign. And it's worth saying that there are very few people left in the president's inner circle who were there for that long.
As you rightly point out, Cecilia, Robert Mueller did take aim at Sarah Sanders in his very lengthy report after 2 years of investigating. In fact, his report said that Sanders told this office that her reference to hearing from those countless members of the FBI was a, quote, slip of the tongue when she talked about there being a lack of confidence at the FBI for James Comey. I do want to get back to Jonathan Karl, who's at the White House, in addition to Cecilia Vega, who's with us on the air. And, John, of course, this comes one day after our exclusive access to President Trump, not only at the White House there, but traveling with him on the campaign trail.
Absolutely. This was an interview that Sarah Sanders was very much involved in setting up. 2 days worth of access with George Stephanopoulos. There's no suggestion that there's a connection here, but that was a hugely news-making interview and also in some circles a very controversial interview. I should also say, David, that I've had many conversations with Sarah Sanders really over the past year, where she has talked about the pressures of this job, the pressures on her family. She has 3 young children, all under the age of 10, and she had considered at various times leaving over the past year. So although this does come as there was no warning for this a specific move, it comes a little bit out of the blue. As you said, comes right after the big ABC News interview, but it is something that in a larger sense is not all that surprising. This is a job that had taken a very big toll on Sanders and on her family.
And John Karl, no surprise to you, in this divided country, people feel very strongly on both sides about Sarah Sanders, a very long-serving press secretary for President Trump. Many of her supporters saying that she stood up for the president, talked about his record as he now campaigns for a second term. Her detractors will say there are questions about whether or not she was truthful along the way, given the Mueller report, which called into question her words in particular about the FBI, the culture there, and what FBI agents thought of James Comey. We'll have much more on the surprise departure of Sarah Sanders at the White House, a long-serving press secretary, and as we pointed out right here, she took on many other roles along with that role as press secretary. More of our live coverage on ABC News Live, our digital channel, abcnews.com, and of course, World News Tonight. I'll see you in a short time.
Breaking news, people. Have you noticed how serious these journalist guys are? Have you noticed that they're anchor people? It's like they never crack a smile. It's like, what's with them? Do they need prunes or something in their diet? Just saying. Hi, I am the anchor person for ABC News. Breaking news. Sarah Sanders Huckabee, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is leaving the White House. Yeah, she is. She's the longest Trump spokesperson in the history of the Trump administration. Can you believe she lasted that long? It's shocking, isn't it? Oh my gosh, people! Okay, now this is just a pop quiz. Just curious, how many of you know any president in modern history, okay, that actually had their press secretary their whole term? Like, seriously. Like, if they were in the White House twice, 2 terms, did any of them actually have their press secretary for the whole 2 terms? I would venture to guess. No. Just saying, people. I would venture to guess. And by the way, breaking news, did you know that George H.W. Bush, number 41, is now on a postal stamp? Did you know that? Yep, they put the old geezer on a postal stamp to commemorate him. So you can lick them and stick them. The Bush administration, I'm sure they would appreciate that. Just so you know. I just happened to see that on the USPS.com website. So you can get your forever stamp with George H.W. Bush, number 41, later. And I'm trying to fix my necklace. And I'm trying to do it without looking at it. Just so you know. So here's what I think. Look, the White House is all politics, people. That's all it is. And you know what? America is still the best country in the whole world, people. Even though we're the most, we spread all the most deviant behavior all across the world and our government is wishy-washy and blah, blah. You know what makes America great again? People like me. People like you who use social media to promote our ideas and our belief system. And so far we can keep doing it without getting, censored completely by the government. Just saying. Places like China, North Korea, places like that, they can't do what we're doing. They can't mock the president of their country openly without being killed, probably, in lots of those places. So, hey, I figure, we may as well be an American and enjoy mocking the liberal media and how anchors on ABC News look all stiff and stuff. Because, seriously, I know you're probably saying, Stacey, don't you give a crap about like the actual issues of the day? I'm like, yep. That's why I think that guy needs to get some prunes in his diet so that he could give a crap, actually. Let's just saying. Wait, I'm sorry. That was out of order. I should not have said that because that was just not befitting a Southern woman. Just saying. So, I apologize. No, I don't. Just saying. I'm really not sorry. This is a sorry, not sorry moment. I'm here. Time to make dinner. I ate bad at Culver Shrimp and Onion Ring Stress Rain today. Okay, Annie. Okay. All right. Apology accepted. Bless your heart. That's coming from somebody who lives in Clinton land, okay? That's funny. Oh, Gina, you crack me up. Okay. All right. Actually, I have another news story. And here's the thing. I hope that, somebody said that Donald Trump, that they hoped that Sarah ran for governor, of her state. Okay, that's cool, it's all right. She can run for governor if she wants. Who can't, Why not? Somebody has to be somewhere, so why not? So, okay, so I found this other story. You're going to love this one. When I saw this headline, I was like, does that really say what I thought it said? But it does. Now, this is over on the Los Angeles Times, people. It's titled, "The Working Witches of Los Angeles Just Want You to Be Your Best Self." Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. Witches are among us, people. Yep. Yeah, they are. So, listen to this. It says, the Oracle. I got to scroll down so I can read it here. So, because Randall's going to change it on me and I know it. So, I'm going to try not to get all frazzled today. The Oracle of Los Angeles was feeling frazzled. It was already 2 p.m. and she hadn't had time to prepare lunch, much less wipe the ash, A-S-H, from her altar. A tarot card client had just left her yellow Craftsman house in West Adams, evidenced by the smell of incense still lingering in the air. Within an hour, she was scheduled to meet with another client who was struggling to complete a PhD thesis. In the meantime, she still had to prepare her weekly podcast, create a purifying ceremony for a new business, and get her nails done for a reality TV appearance. Any downtime would be consumed with writing. The second draft of her memoir was due to her publisher in a week. The Oracle, who also goes by Amanda Yates Garcia, is a former arts educator with a Master of Fine Arts in Writing, Film, and Critical Theory from California Institute of the Arts. For the past 8 years, she has made her living as a professional witch, performing energetic healings, intuitive empowerment sessions, and the occasional exorcism, while also teaching workshops on the art of magic online and at her home, independent stores, and sites like the J. Paul Getty Museum. So I have to say that I do find it interesting that a witch has done an exorcism. That's kind of interesting to me. Anyway, it says here, the Oracle understands the value of marketing, so she also devotes several hours a week to her outreach, writing newsletters, updating her website, and sharing tips on social media on topics such as how to break a curse using the disruptive energy of a lunar eclipse. If you think being a witch is just sitting around doing spells all the time, you think wrong, she says. Half my business is being on Instagram. Yeah, it is. What do you think of when you hear the word witch? Pointy black hats? The Salem witch trials? The free-spirited members of the pagan religion Wicca? Today's working witches, whose prominence is growing thanks to social media, primarily see themselves as healers. They help clients who are struggling to cope with life's hurdles, heartache, aging, misogyny, work stress, and who find that more culturally accepted remedies such as therapy and meditation aren't enough. They want to help you to be your best self possible. or your best possible self. Or, as the Oracle puts it, my contribution is to ellipsis, cultivate beauty, and love in my clients and help them thrive. There's no official list of job duties for witches, no state licensing board that notes educational or training requirements, which means clients proceed at their own risk. Services run the gamut from herbal workshops to love spells to communing with spirit guides. Some witches charge up to $200 an hour for their time. Yeah. Sarah, wait a minute. Is this a new one? Yeah. Sarah Benincasa, a comedian and writer who started seeing the Oracle last August, says the sessions feel like part therapy, part religious ritual. I would say she's doing spiritual coaching. You can go see her the way you might see a rabbi or a pastor. Yates Garcia is quick to note that people should not use magic as a way of avoiding their problems, adding sometimes clinical help with a therapist, social worker, medical doctor, or a financial advisor is really what they need, just so you know. If you think all this witch talk is fringe thinking, it isn't. A 2017 survey from the Pew Research Center that examined New Age beliefs in America found that 40% of respondents believe in psychics and another 40% believe in inanimate objects like mountains and trees are imbued with spiritual energy. I also found that 33% of Americans believe in reincarnation, 29% believe in astrology, and 60% say they hold at least one of these New Age beliefs. Anecdotal evidence seems to indicate the number of people who call themselves witches is growing. Yeah. Interest in witchcraft waxes and wanes, but it is waxing again, particularly among young women, says Helen Berger, a professor at Brandeis University who has been studying witches and pagans for 30 years. At least half a dozen books on witchcraft have been released in the past 6 months alone. Museums and universities like LACMA, UCLA, UC Berkeley, and Smith are inviting witches to lecture and lead workshops on their campuses. I'm so glad I left California, and there are more places than ever to buy crystals, candles, incense, and other tools of the witch trade, both online and in stores. Here in Southern California, the magical supply shop House of Intuition opened in Echo Park in 2010. In the last few years, it's expanded into a full-fledged chain with storefronts in Pasadena, Long Beach, Santa Monica, Highland Park, and West Hollywood. Instagram has also helped spread the word. Search the hashtag Witches of Instagram, and you'll find 2.6 million posts, including spiritual affirmations, gothic selfies, and a substantial sprinkling of cats. Instagram has been a huge way to make magic and mysticism accessible for everyone, says Bree Luna, who goes by the name Hood Witch. And has 420,000 followers on the social media site. Old witches tried to dismiss it, but the internet has made it possible for black people, brown people, and trans people to be a part of this community and this movement too. Sabina Maggie somebody, an anthropologist at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, says the growing interest in magic and witchcraft is a natural response to a cultural moment in which many people feel marginalized and silenced. She says a loss of faith in institutions, particularly the government and organized religion, has led large swaths of the population to feel unmoored, like the world no longer makes sense. Studies have shown that people turn to magic and ritual in high-risk and high-stress situations, and that describes the world for a lot of people right now. People are flipped out. And what they didn't say is that they're flipped out because Donald Trump is our current president, just so you know. Anyway, the queer witch, or Bruja, who goes by Loba Loca, specializes in herbalism and traditional massage. However, much of Loba's work involves simply talking with clients, quote, pure counseling. And there's a lot longer. I'm not going to read the rest of this. I think you kind of get the point, people. You know, it's just, okay, so Bareface, you're the biblical scholar in this couple of us here that we are. What do you think of this? I mean, really, what do you people think in the chat room? Is there anybody on YouTube? What do you people on YouTube think? Is anybody out there listening anymore? I mean,
well,
serious.
the scriptures, both Old and New Testament,
Right.
do not speak favorably of witchcraft.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
Nope.
And
Well, there's 5 people, so let's see. Sean is over there. Okay. And Rick. All right. Rick and Sean. Yeah, you are. Okay, go ahead.
oh, where am I going?
Are you done? Is that all you had to say?
No.
Okay. So, Nair
They-
says it's forbidden,
Right.
and some of them are Christians, apparently. Yep.
Yeah, I saw something not too long ago about Christian witches, and it's no such thing.
Yeah. No, actually, we did. We covered that a while back, that there was
Well,
a
there's
big
a Christian
article about it.
tarot cards and stuff like that. Yeah, but even more recently, I saw something about. I can't remember where, but
Because you're 55.
yeah, but
Yeah, you are.
it just comes
Super old for a man.
Comes back to Romans chapter 1. For me as I see it, although they knew God, they did not worship him as God, but chose to worship and serve the creation or the creature, as it says in the old King James, which now we pronounce creature, but it's creature, it's creation, it's the old English word for what has been created. Anyway, serve the creature rather than the creator, who is blessed forever. And that's
Right.
nothing new under the sun. I mean, that goes back. I mean, we see when.
Annie says that we're adorable.
Well, thank
Okay,
you.
so you know what we do? We go like this.
Yeah.
I
that
don't know
looks
what that's about. It's like
I
a
don't-
frame. I
framing
think
your
it's like
face, I
frame
don't
your
know.
face.
Well, we got
This
these-
is for you, Annie.
We've got these frames around our faces right now. We don't need to do it with our fingers.
I learned that from Jamie Grace, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so I think way back, I wasn't there, but I read about it in Exodus. When the presence of God came upon. Oh, come on.
It was somebody.
Yeah.
You forgot, didn't you?
Yeah.
'cause you're old.
The mountain there.
Mount Sinai.
Yes, there we go. Good night. Mount Sinai.
Yeah. Bible trivia. I won the prize. Yeah, I did.
The people
Okay.
are telling, to Moses, yeah, you go up and talk to God, because this is too scary. We're gonna stay down here because we don't want to deal with this smoke and thunderings and this voice, and it's not our thing. You go up like God wants you to do. We'll just hang back here. He goes up, and while he's gone, well, he's been up there a long time. What do? Well, we fashion a calf, and we'll call it God. And Aharon, Aaron, says, well, this is your God that delivered you out of Egypt. Same story, but a whole different, worship style, and it turns into an orgy and all that. And so we see it's nothing new to some people. Like, oh yeah, I acknowledge God. There is a God, but I don't want to worship him as God. That's a little too scary. People hate the light lest their deeds be exposed. So they build these layers and barriers and then so they can have eventually, as Paul wrote to Timothy, have a form of godliness but deny the power thereof. So they turn to. I know you're waiting for me to shut up so you can talk.
I don't want to forget what I want to say. That's the thing.
Anyway, they turn to creation, and as they do that, they're still looking for a spiritual connection. They look for a spiritual connection, the energy of the mountains and the trees and the dirt and whatever, and they do indeed find spiritual energy, but it's not the spirit of the rock or the tree or the mountain. It's demons that they ultimately encounter. But go on.
Yes. Okay. Do you remember a couple of days ago? You guys are not going to believe what I'm going to tell you, okay? Oh, my gosh. We're not going to show you the article. I will not post this article in my Facebook group. But I actually got this from Jeff Kinley, who posted it on his Facebook. Okay. There's an article that says... Okay, are you guys... If there's children where you're at, make them go play somewhere just for a second, just in case. Okay, even Nair, you're too young for this. You shouldn't even be listening to this. You're an adult, but you're too young to hear this. Hi. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so there's this article. Now, we've heard of homosexual, bisexual, transsexual, right? We've heard of lesbians, transgender, all that, okay? Now, here's the thing. There's a thing now called an ecosexual person, okay? Now, what an ecosexual person is somebody who believes that having sex literally with the earth will actually help save the earth. So literally, this article I have, and I actually, I actually read the thing because I was like so slimed. Because it's gross. I mean, it's these people literally who are being naked and stuff, and they're,
instead of tree huggers, they're tree
something else. Yes, okay, and
or mounds of dirt or whatever.
Yes, and they believe. It says here, I guess there's ecosexual bathhouses. Anyway, this is the whole movement, you guys, and I'm not lying about this. What's shocking about this is that 3 years ago, when this article was written that I'm looking at, they actually said that these ecosexual people are actually trying to attach the E in LGBTQ plus. So we already know pedophilia is being added onto that, but now ecosexualism also is, okay? I know! I mean, only on Bible News Radio you hear this type of garbage. But it's sad. It actually says here, I'm trying not to say, because it's very lewd. It's extremely lewd. But it says here, I'll read this part. It says, at last year's San Francisco Pride Parade, and this was written in 2016, so it's actually, last year's, it was 2015, according to this, okay? At last year's San Francisco Pride Parade, they led a contingent of over 100 ecosexuals in a ribbon-cutting ceremony to officially add an E to the LGBTQI acronym. Stevens told Outside, which is a magazine, I guess, that they believe there are now at least 100,000 people around the world who openly identify as ecosexuals. According to Reed's research, the term ecosexuality has existed since the early 2000s when it started appearing as a self-description on online dating profiles. It wasn't until 2008 that it began its evolution toward a fully fledged social movement. And then it says these people's names who they actually began officiating ecosexual weddings, which means that somebody like, let's say Mary wanted to marry the tree, just saying, they actually did that. Okay. So anyway, I am, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but what I will tell you is it's a very close tie-in to that witch story, because there are a lot of people who actually believe in this New Age stuff, and I don't want to say, I'm trying not to say bad words because I really want to, but you know what I'm talking about, which is all the more reason, you guys, that the Bible.
Hers is right here. Look.
Yeah.
You were away from the microphone. I don't think they heard you.
Yeah. That the Bible, all the more reason why the Bible needs to be read, and you need to read it every day. You need to meditate on it. You need to memorize it, because the spiritual forces of darkness and wickedness in high places are actually so emboldened these days that they are here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Most of you are an older audience, okay? I mean, by that, I mean your grandparents, most of you are. At least that I know of. I mean, there could be a ton of you watching that are in your 20s and 30s. You never tell me you're watching. But this is the world our grandchildren and children are raising their kids in, okay? And these people need the Lord, number one, but they're also entrapped in this darkness. They're so deceived by darkness, whether it's witchcraft or ecosexuality or whatever, that these people are in positions of authority to influence your children. Now, let me ask you something. And my friends actually have admitted to me, oh yeah, no, I don't think that pedophilia or whatever will ever get, promoted. I don't think transgenderism will ever be promoted to children. Really? Okay, that was 15 years ago. Look at it today. Who's to say that this isn't next to our kids? Just saying. And I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. I'm a realist. I've been tracking this agenda and cults and all this for close to 40 years now. The homosexual agenda, about 20 years. But spirituality, all that stuff for at least close to 40 years. I've been a believer 36, so let's say 36, okay? My point is that it's so easy to go to read the Bible and think about the gods of Baal and all that stuff. We understand the context, but it's here today, you guys. And it is rampant, and largely the church is ignorant of it. They're not looking at it. They don't understand it. Oh, a witch? Oh, yeah, okay, because you know what they're going to do? Bewitched was simple. And then there was like all these he should about vampires, and all this other stuff. It's like, let's just glorify darkness and make it look pretty. But the end is hell, okay? And I literally mean hell when I say hell. I'm not saying hell is a bad word. I mean hell is in the end is hell for these people if they don't encounter the risen Jesus Christ who can save them and snap them out of the darkness. Just so you know.
Yeah, this ecosexual thing is nothing new under the sun. What about the virgins thrown into the volcano? I mean, what's with that? Why a virgin? And the whole, going back to Egypt with Horus and Isis, and then the architecture with the phallic symbol and the womb that we see in Washington D.C. By the way, that we see in Vatican City, and it's this what's the word I'm looking for? This superimposing of sexual energy to the natural world. And we look at Romans 1 and we often think of it in terms of homosexuality, but
it's not. It's everything.
Yeah, it's
Can we thank our sponsor first?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Hey, this is an hour show every day. Randall and I, we are sponsored by the wonderful ministry of Ariel Ministries. They have a camp every summer. You can go there, right there on your screen. Camp Shoshana, School of Messianic Jewish Studies. Great camp. If you guys have the money and time, you should definitely do it for sure. You can learn more money about... You can... What? You can what?
Learn more money.
More money. I don't know why I said that. You can learn more at ariel.org. ARIEL. Go there. They sponsor us. We are so grateful for their sponsorship of the show. You guys, please support them. And one way that they know that you support us is when you go there, you buy something off their website, and you use the coupon code Bible News. That will save you 20% on your purchase. It does not apply to camp, which we have already addressed before, but it does apply to the books, the MP3s, the DVDs, the PDFs that are all for sale there at ariel.org. The other people that support our show are the pillars. Yes, you pillars of our community. I have to say, honestly, when I came up with that, that was a brilliant. We want you to be a pillar, people. Become a pillar of the community. Uphold Bareface and me as every single day. We are here faithfully. You know it. If we're not here, we're here even when we're sick. We probably shouldn't be. But you can't, catch a cold through us. But if you want to support our show, become a monthly donor. Please become a monthly donor. You can sign up there on our website. We accept, credit card, PayPal. And I have a couple of people that donate through a check. Every month you can just send a check for whatever amount the Lord lays on your heart to donate to us. We're doing the work, people. So we need that. And of course, the last way that we earn money with this show is through Legal Shield. Yeah, I do have a lot of fun with this. But you know what? I have to tell you guys, honestly, I love this company. I have, when I first started it a year ago, I was like, I don't know, maybe I can make a little extra money, helping support Bible News Radio, because that's what I want to do. But, I've really grown to love and appreciate the product because it's a great product and everybody needs it. So Legal Shield, you can get a member legal plan for $24.95 a month. That's it. and identity theft protection. And if the family plan for identity theft is $24.95 a month, it's $9.95 for an individual. You all should have your identity theft protection anyway. Kim Komando, America's Digital Goddess, named ID Shield the #1 identity theft protection. And you know what? Remember I keep telling you guys we have a $5 million service guarantee? You know what now? They just switched it. It is unlimited. Brand new, unlimited. Doesn't matter. It tops $5 million. It could be $1 billion. It's unlimited. We at ID Shield will do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to restore your identity to pre-theft status. So I don't know about you, but that's a bold claim. And when Kim Komando, America's Digital Goddess, says that ID Shield is the one to have, I would listen to her. Just saying. And so I have mentioned this before. If you sign up for Legal Shield or ID Shield this month, because this is my 1-year anniversary this month, and this is only offered to you, my audience. I have not offered this locally at all. I will give you 20% back on your first month of whatever it is you get. And that's it, 20% back. So you sign up for Legal Shield and ID Shield, 20% of that $50 that you're going to pay, I will give back to you. Okay? As my way of saying thank you, and just celebrating the fact that I've been in this for a whole year and love it. So get in touch with me. You guys know how to get in touch. Just contact me directly through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever Bible News Radio is. You can do that. And or if you're on my text message list, which you can join, you can text Bible News to 33222. And by the way, if you're not on that yet, you should definitely get on it. I send out a scripture every morning, and I totally forgot to send out an alert about today's show. Can you believe that? I wonder what happened. You know what it was? I was dealing with Tuggy Bearface, who is the face of evil, actually. Tug has been like totally knocking over our trash can constantly. And so when I feed the dogs, I have to watch Tug to make sure he isn't going to eat Grover's food. Yeah, I know. But anyway, I'm trying to grow that text message list. So if you have friends that you think might like our show or might want a verse of the day, just let me know or let them know and have them text to join. It's free. It's free to join. I pay for the service, but it's free to join. And I will be doing a contest soon for a copy of my book, Pickleball Faith, on inspiration on and off the court. So you can only be in that if you're going to be on my text message list. So, all right, back to Bearface. Back to Bearface. There he is.
Yeah, here am I.
Here you are.
Stacy. I was saying Romans chapter 1, we often read that and think in terms of homosexuality, which it does get into in verse 26. But prior to that, let's start in verse 22 here. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man and birds and animals and creeping things. Therefore God gave them up in the lust of their hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Which I alluded to earlier.
Right.
So in the same thought, the same sentence, that therefore God gave them up in the lust of their hearts, the dishonoring of their bodies, is along the same line of worshiping and serving the Creator rather than the Creator. So I didn't think of it until now, but it seems to me like that covers that covers the whole ecosexual thing. And then and then going on, it talks about, for this reason God gave them up to dishonorable passions. Women exchanging natural relations, and and men burning, men committing shameless acts with men. So women with women, men with men. That homosexuality is dealt with there, but it almost seems to me in verses 24 and 25 could deal with the whole ecosexual thing. Just saying.
But they actually say that they believe this is a way to save the earth. I mean, seriously, you guys, this is in the article. If you look, I'm not going to tell you where the article is. I guess if you really want to know, I will send it to you privately. I'm not posting it on my Facebook page.
I mean, it can't be.
But
there's got to be some misconstrued purpose in someone's head, because I can't imagine doing it just for the fun of it. But
I mean, really,
to seek intimate relationships with a tree or a mound of dirt, or
is it one step above an inanimate object, though? I mean, if you think about it, there's a massive sex toy industry out there. By the way, I do not participate in it, in case you're snarky and thinking, oh yeah, well, you should know, right? Whatever. But I will say, I used to go to a church where a woman actually shared with me, oh yeah. I'm like, I did not need to know that about you. Thank you for sharing, but that was TMI. Oh. You know, you just can't look at somebody the same way when they tell you stuff like that. It's like, I mean, yeah. And, you know, Satan's laughing. You know, he's like having a good old field day, literally, with this.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I did. Oh, my gosh. Anyway. Oh, okay. Breaking news. Ariel Ministries just texted me. Wait, hold on a second. I sent an email. Thanks. Appreciate. Okay, wait. Blah, blah. Okay, just want to let you know that the Lord has provided the 2 cooks needed for Camp Shoshana. I don't know any more details than that, but thanks so much for your part in that. All right. There you go, people. The power of Bible News Radio. Okay, so there you go. So no cooks are needed now, Ariel, because we had talked about that. All right, so tomorrow is Free for All Friday. I actually was thinking tomorrow was Thursday, but it's not. Today's Thursday. Yeah,
all day.
It's been a long day, people. Just saying. You guys have any comments or questions? We got like 2 minutes left of the show. We're gonna actually end the show on time today. I hope. So what did you think about today's show? Was it a good show? Hey, it's Cheryl. Hey, that's my girlfriend there. I don't mean girlfriend in a gay way either. That's my friend. That's my big sister, actually. She's super older than me, and I love her. Yeah, I do. So yes, and don't be mad at me for saying that. I want a picture of your new dog, man. You gotta text me a picture of your new puppy. All right, any feedback on the show? Okay, let's see here. All right. Did you learn anything new on today's show? I certainly hope so. Yeah, I know you mean that hey as in, hey, not like hey. That's a rebuke, hey. I know it, because I know you. You're like, hey, don't be saying that about me. Okay. All right. Well, no feedback on today's show, huh? Okay. Well, here's the deal, on a serious note, I want you to pray for us, pray for Randall and me. We really need an increase in income. By the way, you guys, Randall has a company, and we need that company to get making some money. So here's the thing. Do you know anybody who can make video, like who needs video making for their business, for whatever, Randall is an excellent video maker. He's a videographer. He is talented. He's a great editor. He puts in original music. Chapel Hill Media, I happen to be co-owner of, but Chapel Hill Media, your story exceptionally told. Just so you know, hey, we're looking for small business owners, or anybody that needs some video, because this is Randall's business when he's not running Bible News Radio behind the scenes, teaching you Bible studies. And take care of me. Please consider using his service. And if you know anybody, just please refer them to us, at least so that Randall could give him a quote, and all that. I mean, he's super affordable, super good at what he does. And I'm not just saying that. He's great. He's really great. Randall is awesome and talented. Cheryl's seen it. So, yeah, so, you know, please pray for us that the Lord would provide that income, because it's tight. It's super tight, just so you know. And we're not taking anything from the government to help us out like some of you are. So we need to, you know, what I'm saying is I know some of you live
fighting words.
No, it's not fighting words. What I'm saying is I know that some people are on disability or unemployment. We're not. So we're trying to work, you know, and I know there's reasons for that, but we're working 2 and 3 jobs here to try to get, you know, our ends met. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, to meet our obligations, our basic obligations, you know, we're not spendthrifts at all. You know, we don't just go ahead and charge up our credit cards and then file bankruptcy because we feel like it, like my family member did.
Oh, don't you think we need a new jet?
Yeah, we do. No. You know, our cars are 13 years old. You know, they're paid for, and, you know, we don't have cable TV like some of you do. We don't. You know, we don't go out to extravagant dinners, you know. Yeah, I mean, not that we're judging, but we're just being honest. A lot of people will moan and groan about being broke and stuff, but they're not doing anything to try to earn money. We're here. We're here every day. You guys see it, and so we're just asking for you for prayer and for referrals. If you know anybody that needs my service or Randall's service or wants to just support this show, then please support it, okay? Yeah, all right, people. And that's it. So, hope I didn't offend anybody there, but it wouldn't be the first time. It wasn't intended. All right, so be bold, people, like I just was. Stand up and go with God because he loves you. And we'll see you tomorrow.